I pretended to be stuck in the dryer to tease my 14-year-old son.
Today we're checking out some TikTok story time. Now I know the last 2 times they went kinda iffy.
To relieve my stress, I paid a couple of homeless guys to use me in any way they wanted.
What?
My husband giving my daughter some devious backshot.
But that can't last forever, right? Like, we're gonna have a good one of these, a wholesome, a great one of these, right? Right? Eventually?
My mom gave birth to me when she was 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know how that sounds. From what I've heard, she used to sleep around so much in high school that she doesn't even know who my father is.
Who told you that? No, who in your circle told you how much your mom slept around? Why do you know that about your mother? Okay.
But she eventually found out, and I can't believe this well-known former YouTuber is my father.
Oh, really?
As a woman in her teens, she was definitely not willing to raise a child. But my grandparents didn't allow her to get an abortion.
Okay.
As a result, she was forced to take care of me.
Ooh.
She was the opposite of a good mother. If I was crying,
oh, no,
she would put on loud music and pretend that didn't exist.
No,
there were nights when I had to go to bed hungry because she refused to breastfeed me and I wouldn't eat anything else. Thankfully, my grandparents...
How did you know that? Like, did your grandparents tell you that? What, do you remember not getting the breast in the mouth? Like, how is your memory that good?
Parents noticed this and took me under their care. My mother was happy to stay away from me and went back to her type of lifestyle. She moved out into a dorm.
Does it? I'm not gonna lie, I'm half looking at it. I hope it looks good. I'm just hungry. That's what it is, bro. I need something to eat.
To prepare for college.
Okay.
My grandmother took proper care of me at home and my grandfather would take me to the park often. He had a surgery done on his hip, so he wasn't able to move that much, but always made sure to play with me. I consider them my real parents and will always be grateful to them. When I was 4 years old, they hired a babysitter to take care of me because they had to attend a wedding.
Yeah, and
on their way
getting
back,
old
they
too.
had a terrible accident and unfortunately didn't make it. As a kid at the time, I didn't know that my life was about to become a living hell.
No.
I cried for days and days. The house was in my mother's name, so she moved back. It's like she was happy that her parents were gone, because
okay, food in the background looks fantastic, even though that looks like that's sprinkled with nuts. How did you know your mom wouldn't breastfeed you if the only people who would know that passed away when you were 4? How would you know that? I'm not gonna call you a liar, but how do you remember that? Who else is telling you this information about your mom? Uncles, aunts?
She began having late night parties in the house literally a week later.
Okay.
She became the queen of her college because she had an empty house where everyone could hang out and do substances.
Lit.
At that time, I still wasn't over the passing of my real parents.
No,
so
imagine having a child. You have the child. You told your child Timmy to go to sleep, and now you're like, okay, guys, Timmy is knocked out in the other room. So where's the crack? Who's bringing it today, baby? Oh, is that crack this time? Pure cocaine. Someone play Little Baby. Sounds like your mom was the life of the party.
Violently in my room. Sometimes my cries would reach downstairs and I guess her friends asked about it because she would barge into my room with anger on her face and put tape over my mouth. Then she would proudly say, if you keep crying, I'll throw you out the window. So I would cover my mouth with my hands and cry with a muffled voice.
I thought you already had tape over your mouth.
For food because she would always be hungover. After a few months of this kept repeating, she became fed up with me and took me to another state. I was excited because I thought we were finally going to spend time as a family. Guess what she did? She left me on the front door of an orphanage and drove off. Little did she know that would be the start of her downfall. I thought I got left on the door of an orphanage, but it turns out some big African-American man was taking care of me now. He gave me a cupcake and he was very nice. He introduced himself as EDP445.
You did this all for an EDP story time? This was an EDP setup? Are we serious? I got played so hard.
I ordered a 9-inch pizza, but the waiter brought me 2 5-inch pizzas instead. He explained the 9-inch wasn't available and claimed I was getting 1 inch more for free. Something felt off.
That's
I
true.
asked him to call the owner, who arrived.
What felt off?
I told him, let me show you some math. The area of a circle is calculated using the formula pi/r square, where pi is equal to 3.141596 and r is the radius. A 9-inch pizza has a radius of 4.5 inches, so its area is approximately 63.62 square inches. A 5-inch pizza with a radius of...
I would have kicked you out the restaurant. I would have got a slice of pizza that I gave you. I would have took your 5 inches, stuffed it in my mouth, kicked you right out right after, bro. I'm not listening to that. I didn't ask.
Of 2.5 inches has an area of about 19.63 square inches. Now, I continued, the 2 5-inch pizzas you're offering me add up to 39.26 square inches. That's nowhere near the 63.62 square inches of the 9.
And that's fair. That is absolutely fair. But if you come out here with this math shenanigans, instead of just saying, oh, this pizza is clearly smaller, get out the restaurant. You can leave a 1-star review. I have enough good reviews as it is.
Am I in the wrong for beating up my eggplant in front of the camera my mom forced me to have in my room? I'm a
No, that's some crazy. That's a crazy get back. If I'm going based off the title alone, no, you're 17. Why do you have a camera in your room? Like, no, I don't blame you, but what is going on?
17-year-old guy, and my mom has always been a bit overprotective. Recently, she took it to the next level by insisting on putting a surveillance camera in my room.
In the
safety.
room
I
is
found it
crazy.
super invasive and uncomfortable, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. So in an act of defiance, I decided to beat my eggplant right in front of the camera every day for a week. I figured if she wanted to invade my privacy, she'd have to deal with the consequences. I made sure to look directly into
You
the
weren't
camera, making it
tired?
clear that I knew it was there, and I didn't care. After a week, my mom came to me furious. She had finally watched the footage and saw what I'd been doing. She said she was absolutely disgusted and yelled at me for being disrespectful and said
Yo, like, did you just do it in silence? Like, were you just looking at the camera in silence? Just, you know what I'm saying? Because if any words come out your mouth, it's all the situation is crazy regardless. But if you said any words like, "Oh yeah, this is my get back, mom," dog.
Said I was acting like a child. I told
Cat. Rufus. Who's Rufus?
her that if she wanted to invade my privacy, she had to be prepared for what she might see. She took the camera down immediately.
That's
but now
valid.
she's giving me the silent treatment and acting like I'm the bad guy. My dad thinks I went too far, and I think he secretly finds it funny, but he also agrees that having a camera in my room was too much. My sister won't even talk to me anymore after my mom told her what I had done. But
I'm not mad. Like, I'm not mad at the sister for that too, because that is like weird. That does make things uncomfortable. But the mom started. Just put cameras at the front door, back door, and like on the side of the house. And 4 cameras. Like, you don't have to put cameras in the house. You know what I mean?
friends think it's hilarious and say my mom got what she deserved. I'm not sure how to feel.
No, you did your big one. You did your big one. We got your back, right? Right, we all got his back. Cause we all riding for him, right? All of us, right? Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
My furry sister started meowing at us over dinner. Now she is getting disowned. My sister became a furry about 3 months ago. She started buying things like stuffed cattails and attaching them to herself, and she also bought cat ears, which she walked around with. She even went to school that way, and this resulted in her getting bullied. I remember one night I went downstairs to get some water when I caught her on all fours drinking milk out of a bowl. I told my parents about it the
All fours, bro. Why? Like, that's, yo, just rock your fit and stand on all twos, bro. Just stand on your toes. Why do you have to be on all fours? Just rock your costume and keep it pushing. Now you doing too much.
the next day, and we all confronted her. She told us she is a cat and wants to be treated like one and expects us to serve her cat food. Her mad
That's not what a furry is though, right? Like, our furries are just people who wear the fursuit. Like, I feel like there's different classifications. That's someone who wants to be an animal, right? Hey, that's not my realm of expertise.
madness culminated over dinner last night. She was on the floor eating cat food, and my parents and I were discussing what we should do with her. She seemed to pay no attention until my parents mentioned her name. She stated,
I mean, if she wants to act like a cat, treat her like a cat. Throw her in the oven. If she wants to act like a cat, treat her like a cat and throw her in the oven. Season her well too.
that she no longer identifies as a human and would like her name to be Whiskers. My dad stood up and told her no. My sister meowed at him in response and walked away on all fours. My mom
She raw for that, I'm not gonna lie. She raw. She's so raw for that. Meow. Just walk away.
asked my dad if they should just disown her. I advised to give her to the animal shelter.
What a beautiful, 100% factual, true story that could never, ever be made up, right?
Am I the asshole for slamming a child in the stomach with a metal pipe at the grocery store? Hear me out. I was buying my groceries as usual, and as I'm checking out this beautiful can of tomato sauce, I stumbled upon a child maybe 5 to 6 years old.
All right.
He looked up at me and asked his mom, "Mom, I want that can of tomato sauce." So I start to argue with this kid and his mom. He doesn't have the right to call dibs on anything he wants in the grocery store.
What?
If I found it first, it's mine.
Oh,
I don't care what this kid's mom has to say. This kid can't just steal my rightfully owned can of tomato sauce.
You haven't owned it. You haven't bought it.
Holding for the past few weeks, ever since my wife left me, ever since my mother kicked me out of her house, was all let out, and I pull out my trusty metal pipe that I've been.
How big is this pipe you keep in your backpack? Why do you need a metal pipe in your backpack?
Keeping in my backpack just in case. Pick up the child, throw it in the air, and slam it with my metal pipe as hard as I can. The kid goes flying into the toothpaste aisle of the grocery store, crying. His mother starts screaming at me and threatens to call the police. I don't care.
Threatens?
I would rather keep my can of tomato sauce.
That's not a threat.
I have all the right in the world to
That
slam
shouldn't
him
be
with
no
a metal-
threat. She should just do it. There shouldn't be no, oh, she threatens to do it. Like, that should have, I don't, bro. Horrible story.
I felt my dad's big toy by accident. So tonight when my dad got home I wore the same tight outfit I wore this morning. When he got home, I was up in my room and I heard him come in, so I went downstairs and asked him if he wanted to watch a movie with me tonight. After he got done making a drink, he said if I gave him time to take a shower, we could hang out and watch a movie. So, Dad went to take a shower and I went to change clothes again. This time I put on a crop top tank top and wore like really tight booty shorts. I had a plan to tell him I wanted to cuddle cause I was cold. After Dad got out of the shower, he made a couple more drinks while he talked to his buddy on the phone for what felt like hours. He finally asked me if I was ready to watch a movie and we went to the living room to find one on the TV. I told him I wanted to watch 50 Shades of Grey, and he brushed it off and told
I'm not watching this. I'm not watching it, bro. I'm not. I refuse. I refuse. It's not in me right now, man. It's not in me. But I think her dad might be in her. Hey, how old was she? Hold on. How old was she? I need an age check. Unfortunately, I rewatched the video. There was no age shown, so I just went through all that for no reason.
It's the most awkward situation you've ever been in with a stranger. I accidentally dipped my meat into a random woman's mouth.
That don't even make
sense. It's not my fault. Let me explain. On a flight home for Thanksgiving a few years ago, I sat next to a really nice woman.
Those burgers look so good.
Chill. Kind of funny.
Oh, I need to
the whole way.
Some, bro.
Anyways, the first flight arrives in Charlotte, but we are delayed, and the connecting flight is eventually canceled. The girl from the plane was standing behind me and taps me on the shoulder, asking if I want to share a rental car and just drive the rest of the way together.
How, like, you don't accidentally put your meat in someone's mouth, bro. Like, dingling has to be out and mouth has to be closed. Like, that doesn't just happen on...
I think, why not? And we go to the rental area. After fighting through a huge crowd of people, we finally get to the front. After a lot of waiting and computer tapping, the dude behind the counter says they have one car left, and it's a Mazda Miata. We take it. Her luggage fills the trunk.
Why was that so important? Why do I need to know it's a Mazda?
Headrest and mush it down. She asks if she can drive first because she wanted me to drive in Atlanta traffic. So I say no problem, and we take off. We stop for coffee at a McDonald's drive-thru and each get one before getting on the highway. But the cups don't fit in the cup holders, so I'm holding them. We get onto the highway, and I'm just happy to finally be making progress. It isn't all bad. I was having fun laughing and talking to this person I just met. I wasn't into her intimately, we just clicked. A little way down the road, the person in front of us slams on their brakes.
I just got blue balled in the story. Great. I sat down, I got lured in, and that was stupid. They wasted my time. My feelings are hurt.
Last night I was walking behind a young defenseless girl. She was trembling, so I sped up to ask her why she was scared, but just as I was about to catch her, she started to jog and scream for help. I realized she must have seen something bad behind her, so I started running too. Yell. Moan. She moaned. Daddy Sita Baka Sita Sigma Sita.
What?
I was too focused on running to realize I accidentally fell.
Wait, what just happened?
Warm hazel eyes.
No, what happened?
She was crying almost like she was accepting her fate. She was bent over, skirt blown up,
what is going
to see as she got into position for submission.
Get this off my screen.
Today I fucked up by conditioning myself to get a boner whenever I fix the printer. When I was a teenager, I got super bored and decided I wanted to see if I could get a fetish on purpose. I set up an experiment to see if I could get a fetish for something extremely non-sexual if I tried hard enough.
That sounds like a boy thing. I'm not gonna lie, that's so stupid.
Instead, looked up computer insides and maintenance imagery on Google and tried to jack off to it.
What?
I did this for like a month or two and then forgot about it because it wasn't working. And now, like 5 years later, I realize I accidentally Pavloved myself into associating sex with machine maintenance.
What does Pavlov mean? What does it mean to Pavlov yourself? So to Pavlov yourself would be to train yourself to have certain reactions automatically. And then they keep bringing up Pavlov with dogs. What did Pavlov do to these dogs? What did Pavlov do to dogs? Pavlov, a Russian psychologist, conducted a series of experiments with dogs in the late 19th century that laid the foundation of classical conditioning theory to psychology. Pavlov surgically implanted tubes into the dog's salivary glands and stomachs. He then presented the dogs with neutral stimulus, a bell followed by food. Initially, the dogs only salivated in response to the food. However, after hearing pairing with the bells, so he was basically to teach like dog. Why did he have to put a tube inside them? Is that not like a test you could do without tubes? Am I tweaking? Like I feel like the tubes were heavily unnecessary, but okay. Like I think he just wanted to play with dogs' life. I'm gonna keep it a bug.
The real kicker is that I'm the family's computer guy, so I had to go to my grandma's house to
getting
fix
a stiffy in front of Gran is crazy.
Toner drum, and I legitimately felt like I was doing something perverse. I could not stop getting nervous the entire time I was there because I was anxious about my poor unsuspecting family somehow finding out that opening up the printer gets my dick hard.
Grandma ain't gonna see you put your dingling in the printer, bro. Relax.
What is a split-second decision you made that changed your life?
Oh.
One day, I decided to break up with my girlfriend.
Okay.
The timing just wasn't right. I was only 20 years old, played drums in 5 different bands of some kind, went to party, had a full-time job, and was a full-time student in a tough aerospace engineering program. I called her and asked if we could meet in the science building. Why the science building?
So you're
To
like
this day, I
a
don't know.
genius.
It was close to her dorm and close to parking where I could get this over with quickly perhaps. As I saw her walking, I took a look at her for the last time as my girlfriend. At that point I began reminiscing about our relationship.
And then
The
you
ups,
didn't do it?
the downs, how it began. It had only been about 6 months. I thought as she was walking, I saw her from hundreds of feet away. I dated her because she was marriage material, absolutely beautiful, very
Okay.
mature yet super playful.
Okay.
Any guy would want her. Her laugh was contagious. Not only were our senses of humor similar, they often complemented each other.
So
I
you're
loved
just
her.
not
I
going to
hate
break
see
up with
cry.
her.
It's going to be hard to find someone like her. No, not hard, impossible. But at least
Okay.
I get these next 3 to 4 years to myself and I'll have to find another woman as perfect as her to spend the next 40 years with. It hit me. I'm trading 40 years of pure joy for 3 to 4 years of immature fun, and I'm about to make the biggest mistake of my life. As she was about 30 feet away from me, I changed my mind. I'm 28 now.
What was
This
your...
woman is now my wife of 3.5 years.
What did
currently
you-
carrying our first son, and I couldn't be happier.
Okay,
Update.
but what did you do though? Like, what was the change of, like, what did you say instead?
The baby is black, so I left her.
Why do I take any of these seriously? Why? Got me engrossed for what? Why do I try?
My big sister accidentally rode me. Alright, so I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. So me 18M and my sister 20F have always had a good relationship. We are kinda touchy, not in a weird way, but we always hug and cuddle. For example, I'm pretty sure I could slap her yacht and she would joke it away.
You just said not in a weird way and then immediately made it weird.
One day I came home from school around 2 p.m. because my last class was cancelled. My sister came home around 3:30 p.m. Our parents worked 9 to 5, so we were home alone.
Oh
When she
yeah.
came home, she changed clothes to Nike Pros and a crop top. After that, while I was chilling on the couch,
Like,
she
I
came
hate
to-
how specific these stories be too. Like, yeah, she went straight to some Nike Pros. We all know how Nike Pros fit them. We all know how Nike Pros fit in a crop top, but we know what that means. But then what did I expect, bro? Like, we heard this. We heard the title, but
came jumping on me to hug me. She was in a perfect cowgirl position while she hugged. She tickled me around my neck. I could feel her fat yacht and her tan thighs grinding on my hot dog back and forth.
I'm good. That was enough of that.
My sister helped me to go crazy in the back seat. Our family went out to eat that night, and me and my sister sat in the back of the car whilst my parents were in the front.
Okay.
My sister was wearing a tight top and no bra, so
Okay,
I could
yep.
see her udders.
Next video.
My pet mouse crawled up my giant choco hole. When I was 13,
Next video.
my rich family hired a Latina maid with the fattest peach, getting brained by my maid while speaking to my girlfriend. This happened about 10 years back, so I grew up in a very rich family.
I mean, this is better than the last two. At least it's like not relatives or animals.
Had gone off to high school, and my mom decided that she wanted to go back to work. Therefore my parents decided to hire a maid. The maid was Latina, with the fattest peach. One day,
Okay.
I was beginning to get in bed with the maid when my girlfriend called. Initially I
Okay.
thought, oh no, and began speaking to my girlfriend. But looking at my maid who was waiting for me to finish the call, I unconsciously reached out and began fondling her melons. She also got into the mood and took out my cucumber from my shorts and began sucking it. Here I was getting ahead while speaking to my girlfriend. After a while my girlfriend started suspecting something and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but my voice changed for a split second as my maid was doing me really good. My girlfriend
yeah.
immediately asked what I was doing. I said I was playing with myself while listening to her. She immediately changed her tone and began to speak dirty. It was crazy, listening to my girlfriend taking dirty while being pleasured by someone else. I blew my load all over my maid's melons in one of the
What
best
type of video did they stumble across on the hub to make this story, bro? Or is they just had this fetish in the back of their head for the longest, and they were like, guys, I gotta get my fetish out there, man. I gotta do it. Come on, think.
I got my half sister pregnant.
With that type of plot, bro, just make a book. There are some girls who gonna eat that book up, guarantee it.
I pretended to be stuck in the dryer to tease my 14-year-old son.
Like, what are we talking about, bro? Who's writing this story?
You all know that meme with the girl stuck in the dryer wiggling her ass, trying to seduce her stepbrother? My husband showed me one of those jokes the other night, and I thought of it again about an hour later when I was doing the laundry. So, I did it. I bent over when my son wasn't looking and pushed myself into the dryer. The position gave me no view of him at all, but I heard his amused laugh as he crossed the room to give my ass a spank.
Nice video.
What is the weirdest thing a babysitter has ever done to you?
Please
I had
don't.
a female babysitter who
Please
would take
don't.
me into the bathroom. She would sit on the toilet with her pants/underwear off and have me pee into the toilet bowl between her legs.
That is a crime. That is a crime. Don't tell Reddit, tell the police. That is a crime.
She would ask me to hit her hairy spot every once in a while. I'm male and was about 8 years old at the time. I remember thinking that it was pretty freaking awesome. My babysitter would always complete my Rubik's Cube for me. I'd mess it up again, and she'd just complete it again.
What does a Rubik's Cube have to do with anything?
I think my girlfriend is sleeping with her father. I want to confront her. My girlfriend's dad came to stay at our place for a few days recently. Her parents are divorced, so he visits on his own.
Why can't we just be normal?
He's a really cool guy,
Why?
friendly and very easy to chat to. They seem really close. My girlfriend and I usually have intimacy each night, but when her dad is around she prefers not to. Saying how she doesn't like the idea of doing it when he could hear. I saw that as perfectly acceptable and thought nothing of it.
That's
so
valid.
on the first night, after we had both gotten into bed, she tells me that she's going to head over to the spare room to have a chat with dad for a bit. This seems totally normal, wanting a private chat with her dad, so again I think nothing of it.
Okay.
After 20 minutes pass by, I get up and head to the toilet which is near our second bedroom. I expected to hear some mumbling or talking going on, but I couldn't hear a single thing in there, but didn't think much of it.
Okay.
Then I woke up and she was next to me in bed, so I had fallen asleep by the time she came back. Now the second night, which was last night, is where things got a bit strange, and right now I'm not sure what I should do. We both got into bed the same as before, but she didn't go off to her father's room right away. I think she waited for me to fall asleep or something.
I hate that this story is like, it's kinda intriguing, just purely based off the fact that it wasn't just blatant boom bop boom 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 bebop boo bop boo bop. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to cultivate a story around this. Is this dark romance, or is dark romance when they start playing with knives and licking bugs and candle wax or whatnot? Like, what? That's probably dark romance. Dark romance is like literally just a bunch of things that are illegal, but they're like, hey, I can't let people know I like it, so let's put it in a book. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this in real life. I can't convey to someone this is what I want, so let's put it in a book, and I just get off to it in a book. That's what I imagine dark romance is.
I had my eyes closed and facing away from her when she gave me a little nudge asking if I'm still awake. I was pretty sleepy, so I just didn't say anything. Then she got up and left, which woke me up a lot more. This time I assumed she just went to use the bathroom. About 20 minutes passed again and I started needing it again, so I headed out to it. She not in it, so she must be having a chat with dad again. I went up to the door to see if I could hear them talking this time. This time it wasn't silent. This part I don't know what I want to think. But I think I could hear the mattress bouncing, and what sounded like her moaning slightly. I started feeling extremely nauseous. I had no idea what the F was going on.
Please don't go in the direction I
wanted to barge in to see what was happening, but I was too scared in case they were doing nothing bad and I end up looking like some sick person accusing them of Incorporated Street. The rest of that night I couldn't get to sleep.
That's fair.
Too many thoughts rushing through my head. She finally came back, over an hour later. I kept my eyes shut and she just went to sleep without saying a word to me. I ended up saying nothing and just tried to sleep. Her dad is going to be here for another night tonight. I can't stand being around them two together now. It makes me feel sick to the stomach. So I took my laptop out of the house with me, telling her that I'd let her spend some alone time with her dad for his last day here.
Is this real?
I have no idea what I should do. Should I try to walk in when she's next talking to him?
Is this real? I don't know, bro. It wasn't absurd. Or what, did they make it not absurd so we would think it's real? I don't know what to think anymore, bro. This is a psychological game, bro. They messing with my mind.
Out of pure horniness, I turned my best friend gay so I could get freaky with him.
What?
Alex and I have been best friends since meeting freshman year of high school. We bonded over skateboarding and punk music.
Okay.
When I came out as gay junior year, he was totally chill and supportive about it. A year later, since Alex was the only person I was out to at school, I confessed that over time I had developed a crush on him.
Okay.
I couldn't help it.
Wait. F the story.
I couldn't help it.
F the story, bro. They made a toothpick out of their nail, a flosser out of their. That is ridiculous, bro. That's making me uncomfortable.
I couldn't help it, even though I knew he identified as straight. He let me down gently, saying he cared about me deeply as a friend, but just didn't feel the same romantic attraction.
Okay.
It hurt to have my feelings unreciprocated, but I valued our close friendship too much to lose it over those unrequited pangs.
Okay.
Alex promised my confession didn't change anything between us. I moved past the crush, and we remained super close all through senior year and into college. We ended up going to schools near each other, so we still hung out constantly. Then last year, in our junior year, Alex asked if we could try becoming friends with benefits. He claimed hooking up with girls from parties or apps risked messy, unwanted pregnancies or STD scares. But since I found him attractive and he trusted me, he thought I could be a safer option for no strings attached banging. He swore it would be just physical release.
That don't make sense. I mean, it does make sense, but he said he's still straight. Is he still straight? Well, clearly he's not. Okay. Clearly he might be bi. Like that's obvious.
Between friends, no romance involved. I was extremely reluctant to try this idea, worried it could irreparably damage our treasured friendship. But Alex kept insisting it could work as long as we set clear boundaries and kept things casual. He said we could go back to fully platonic at any time if it got weird. After a lot of back and forth,
Okay.
I finally agreed to give it a shot, but only if we promised that no matter what happened physically, we'd never let it ruin the friendship we both valued so much. In
Okay.
retrospect, this was a foolish gamble to take with someone I cared about. At first,
I agree.
things seemed fine. We set clear ground rules, like no staying over after hookups, no PDA outside the bedroom, and
Okay.
absolutely no going on real dates or couple activities.
That's fair.
It was just an intimate release between two trusting friends. Those first few months, it was smooth sailing. We kept things strictly physical and put the friendship first, not letting any romantic notions creep in. I did really enjoy the sexual chemistry we discovered together, but I worked hard not to let my old feelings resurface. However, around the 6-month mark of being friends with benefits, Alex started acting really oddly romantic and possessive. He'd gently kiss and caress me after bed instead of leaving. Right after, he'd take me out for dinner at nice restaurants and insist on paying.
Okay.
And he started saying he loved me during and after we hooked up.
Ooh.
Given our history, I had a hunch what this behavior meant. I gently asked Alex if he was possibly developing real romantic feelings for me or questioning his sexuality at all, but he adamantly denied it, insisting he was completely straight and saw me.
He's completely straight. The closet isn't even made out of glass. The closet just isn't there. The closet has been removed. You're out, buddy. You've been out. Why are you pretending? Have the audacity to say, oh, I'm still straight. No, you're not. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. The voice, it sent shivers down my spine. Like it's so nasty.
Boy thought something
That's
for a minute
fair.
and said, "Okay, mommy, but if you're playing such games, then you must play in the living room." "Why do you say that, sweetheart?" my wife asked, to which my son looked at her in the eye, took a deep breath and said, "Well, mommy, you might get hurt in the kitchen like Aunt Jennifer did while she and Daddy were playing the same game 2 years ago. And since then, every weekend when you go out with your friends, they play in the living room for hours."
That kid did not say that. I repeat, that kid did not say that. Throw that kid back in the bed. You don't know what he's talking about, man.
Can we have a family three-way? I know.
And that's where we end the video. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all day. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful creative. Yeah, bye.